Speaker Sahiba Gafarova, Speaker of Mili Majelis, Ms. Tulia Aksen, President of the IPU, the Secretary General of the IPU, Martin Chonga, fellow Speakers of Parliament, Members of Parliament, delegates, good morning. Firstly, I would like to extend a sincere appreciation to the Speaker, as well as the government of the people of Azerbaijan, for the warm reception and the excellent organization of COP29 here in the beautiful city of Baku. I bring warmest greetings from the people of the Kingdom of Tonga, a small island state, a small island developing state in the South Pacific on the other side of the planet. I understand that this session is about setting the scene, and so I'll try and paint a picture. Small island developing states are mostly low-lying islands in the largest Pacific Ocean, or in any ocean, faced with the forefront of climate change. We have more frequent and more intense tropical cyclones or hurricanes that wash our shores. We are experiencing sea level rising, ocean acidification, a loss of biodiversity in our oceans. There's less fish, less food security. And this is all due to what Antonio Guterres, Secretary of the United Nations, calls climate injustice. Climate injustice because SIDS contribute 0.02% of greenhouse gas emissions, yet we are at the forefront of climate change. And like one of my brothers from Pakistan said when they had the devastating floods, what happened in Pakistan won't stay in Pakistan. And I'm sure that we are all experiencing the negative effects of climate change. The World Meteorological Organization study from 2023 reported that the sea level rise in the Pacific is higher than the global average. This is only going to get worse when we have no action. The ambition of small island developing states have always been there. The scientific consensus and knowledge that we have today is only confirming what we have been saying for decades. Tonga has had a 2010 target to achieve 50% renewable energy by 2020. We had the ambition, but because of a lack of financing, technical transfer, and technical know-how, we've only managed to achieve 18% renewable energy today. This is our goal to mitigate against greenhouse climate effects. However, unless the 5 top contributing greenhouse gas emitters, the top 5, make a difference, whatever we do in small islands won't make a change. If we mitigate and go full carbon neutral, it won't make a difference. We will still be sinking. We will still be losing our biodiversity. Adaptation has been slow. Loss and damage in COP28 was a big achievement. However, when a superstar who plays soccer gets paid more than the loss and damage fund, when one person can buy a boat for $700 million compared to the loss and damage balance we have of $720 million, where is the global justice there? When we spend more money on entertainment than we do on loss and damage, the climate injustice is real. 1.5 degree, which we are about to overshoot, we are facing 2%. We're even going to achieve 3 if we continue at the current track. 1.5 is 70% loss of biodiversity in our oceans. 70%. Forget about clams, forget about fish or tuna. It's gone. The infrastructure deficit that is a key feature of small island developing states puts us at a disadvantage when you look at adaptation. When we're already facing year to year extreme weather shocks, an example from Tonga, in 2018, a tropical 5 Category 5 Tropical Cyclone Gita destroyed our parliament, a parliament building that stood for over 100 years. We have to rebuild our parliament away from its current location, in higher ground. This is adaptation that is real today. We have to think about migrating our people from low-lying islands. We have to think about building seawalls that we can't afford. We have to strengthen and have more resilient infrastructure with funding that is not available to us. We applied for green climate funding to build a seawall in one of our islands. This funding arrived no more than 7 years later. The funding, the access, the technology, the ambition, it's not matching the timeline that the scientists are giving us today. We need action, and COP is important for that to happen. I believe that legislators have a duty. If the free market won't do it, legislators must make it law. We did it for cigarettes. We did it for drugs. Why aren't we doing it for the planet? For some of our island states in the Pacific, adaptation is too late. Mitigation is too late. The sovereign countries of Kiribati and Tuvalu in our lifetime will no longer exist. Today, king tides wash up in their backyards. Today, salt intrusion into the water table has prevented their crops from growing. The coconut trees are dying. These people will have no land, no home. What is sovereignty without a language, without a land, without a democracy, without an identity? When these people migrate from their homes, what happens to their elections? What happens to their population when they're divided across the world? And this won't end in the Pacific. There are reports that over 1.2 billion people are currently in the front line over the next 50 to 100 years. This is going to impact everyone. And some real life news that we've heard of in the recent year. Rescue helicopters in America couldn't fly because of a heat wave. People who needed emergency evacuation died because the helicopter can't fly, it's too hot. Technology can only take us so far, but we have the technology today to make a difference. Vegetables, certain trees, beyond 40 degrees, lettuce will stop growing. How will you have your salads? I wish to end by setting the tone that the small island developing states want to make their voice heard. We have the ambition. We need to bring collectively all our governments and the private sector so that we can phase out fossil fuels, phase out the sources of greenhouse gas emissions. This needs to be done yesterday. Why we haven't moved, I don't know. That's a question for our leaders. So I'd like to thank you by painting this picture for us to start our deliberations today. Thank you, Madam Speaker.